Hey, everybody, we wrap up the week. We wrap up the month. Hard to believe that tomorrow is the end of May and we're rolling the calendar already to June. This is kind of an odd night because we don't have any games to talk about unless you want to talk about boring baseball. But the NBA, obviously, the West is decided. Tomorrow, we'll see if the Pacers can advance to the finals and take on the Thunder. Hockey, no game, getting ready for the Stanley Cup Finals rematch with Florida and Edmonton. So this is truly an open forum Friday. All right. Chris already chiming in from Louisville. What's going on, Chris? How are things in good old Louisville, Kentucky? My son was at the Derby a couple of weeks ago and loved it. Said he had a great time. He and his buddies on the infield. That'd be awesome to go to the Derby one year. But good to have you on, Chris. Appreciate that. May already pretty soon in our rear view mirror. June's my favorite month of the year. I've always talked about this. June to me was always truly the beginning of summer, which it is. Always for me as a kid growing up, it meant the end of school, my birthday, and just it was great. Father's Day, my birthday, end of school, summer vacation, sports camps. I used to go to lacrosse camp every summer. Meant going to baseball games back when I loved baseball. I used to love the summer, but I love June. June's my favorite month. Love it. Danny, appreciate that. Love you, Grant. Me and my girls love listening to you. Tell you girls I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate you. Thank you. You know, it's interesting. Do I watch banana baseball? Seems like it's very popular. I have watched it in the past, and I enjoy it more than regular baseball. That home run by Aaron Judge to deep center field was a bomb. Yep, Yanks are still up 4-1, are they not? I was watching some of that game. You know, what Judge is doing is truly historic right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. I'm just hoping he doesn't get hurt because it seems like he always does something to his rib cage or what have you. But what a year he's having. And again, the way he goes about his business, like whether you're a Yankee fan or not, it's hard not to like Aaron Judge. You know, it really is. Yanks are up now 5-2, bottom three. It's really hard not to like that guy. He doesn't brag. He doesn't boast. He has time for the fans. He has time for the media. He's like perfect for the Yankees. Perfect. Perfect. Danny, thank you. Me and Chris Rose are my favorite voices to listen to. Thank you. I had Chris on my podcast and know Chris pretty well. Chris wants to know, do I think Sabonis could play power forward and put Valanciunas at center? Do I think that could work? I think both being on the floor at the same time could work, yes. And I'm surprised they didn't see more of it. Paul says, hello, Grant, all the way from Sacramento. Don't get lost, Paul. That's great. Judge does great in the regular season, but disappears in the postseason, in my opinion. No question. That has to change. That first of all, you got to get in the postseason, and then you got to come up with the big hits. And if you're going to be one of the great Yankees of all time, you got to have jewelry. You got to have a championship. I mean, are there exceptions? Don Mattingly was an exception. But for the most part, you know, if you're going to go down as one of the great Yankees, especially as a home run hitter, you got to win. And that means win in October. Got to do it. Yeah, you have to win in October. And the Yankees, it's been a long time since they won a championship. And here we are in 2025, and we'll see. There's, you know, again, it's only May. Getting ready to turn the calendar to June. The one thing we do know is the A's are who we thought they were. They're now 23-35. They're out of it. They're already done. Very disappointing. And in West Sacramento, they're awful. I mean, they're horrible. 9-19 at home. 9-19. Just awful. Terrible. Grant, since I moved out of Sacramento to Louisville, I don't listen to Jim Rome much due to work. Do you still fill in? And if you do, let us know here so we can listen to you if possible. I have not filled in a couple of years. Is Rome not on there, or you just don't have the time? And you said due to work, so I would assume it's for that reason. We talk about baseball, right? And you think about some of the teams that you don't think of that are being good right now, like the Tigers, 37-20. The Tigers. Been a long time. It's good to see them back on track. It's a great baseball town. Always been. Always great. Always good. Walt wants to know if I think the Knicks can win the series. Well, I think they can because they're going to be playing tomorrow, which gives them a chance. Do I think they will? No, I don't think they will. Here's what's wrong with the NBA. I read online somewhere that Bill Simmons was warning gamblers to be careful, insinuating that the NBA is going to fix the game tomorrow because they want the Knicks in the finals and not the Pacers. When you have someone like Bill Simmons making comments like that, that's bad. That's very bad. Very bad. And it's really shameful on Bill's part, if I may add that. Because if you really feel that the game is going to be fixed tomorrow, why would you watch the game? And why would you follow the sport? Like Bill Simmons is a big NBA fan, right? He's a huge, Celtics fan? If you really felt that way, why would you watch any of the games? Like, why would you follow a league where you thought the games were fixed? I don't understand that. I mean that. I don't understand that. It's really, I hate seeing stuff like that. Because again, if you're going to pretty much have your career revolve around the NBA and you're insinuating to your fans and your supporters that the league is fixing games, then why would you cover that league? I would have never stayed in the NBA if I thought the games were fixed. I don't, it just goes against what I believe in. Or any other sport. Baseball, hockey, football. Do I think any of those sports are fixed? No. So I don't understand that. I think it's really unfortunate. And Adam Silver's got to be seething in his New York office seeing that. And I tell you, the refs see that too, and that's got to piss them off as well. And I know a lot of the refs. And if you think these games are fixed, then you're delusional. Yeah, I did see the news on Zion Williamson. He's in trouble, Grant. Well, he's not in trouble yet because they're only allegations. They're only accusations. And unfortunately, we have seen in the past individuals be wrongly accused, falsely accused for the sake of money. Now, I'm not saying that's the case here, but what I am saying is let's wait until the facts come out. Let's wait until we get more information before we just throw somebody away and condemn them and automatically assume they're guilty. Because I don't automatically assume that Zion Williamson is guilty because of the report that came out today. It's alarming, yes. It's alarming, but there have been too many instances where individuals have been falsely accused, and it's been proven that. So let's just wait a little bit. I agree about that, Chris. OKC is set up for a long, long run here. Do I think the Yankees are a better team than last year? Getting Fried was huge. They lost, if Garrett Cole didn't get hurt, they probably would. Too early to say. Stanton's been out all year. I'm not a huge fan of his, but he's been out. Soto plays for the Mets. I actually was happy that Soto left because the Yankees were able to then go out and get pieces that they needed. I would have never, ever paid a player what Soto got. Never. And you can see what's happening in the Mets. He's getting destroyed. So we'll see. James says, accused then for some reason is just going to get swept under the rug. I don't really understand what you're saying, but what I do know is I'm not ready to just automatically assume Zion Williamson is guilty of these allegations. I'm not ready to go there yet. I would say that it's alarming, as I just said a moment ago, but and again, we're talking about a lawsuit here. For those of you who did not hear, a woman has accused Zion Williamson of rape, in addition to, quote, sexual, physical, emotional, and financial, unquote, abuse over many years, I guess stemming back from when he was a freshman at Duke. We'll see. By the way, it's a civil complaint, which to me is alarming in this sense. And I'm not an attorney. Okay? And again, I'm a man. Like, again, I'm only speaking for myself. A victim of a sexual crime such as rape, civil suit? I'm sorry. We'll see. The court filing details an incident or two incidents of rape in 2020. That's 5 years ago. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really happened, if there will be charges again, bro. I don't know. All I know is what I'm reading. But civil suit? Do I think the 49ers have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, being the game's going to be played in Santa Clara? Well, first of all, that doesn't make it. Who cares where the game's being played? That has no bearing on anything. Secondly, who the hell would want to go to San Francisco for the Super Bowl? And I understand it's in Santa Clara, but they use, we're talking about thousands and thousands of people. Who in their right mind would want to go hang out in San Francisco for a couple of days? What a disgrace that city's become. Seriously. Would you want to go hang out in San Francisco for a couple of days? Does the Oklahoma City crowd remind me of the Kings crowd during the Vlade playoff years? The players seem to really feed off them. 100%. 100%. Alex, I don't know anything more than what I read. You'll have to do the research on your own, buddy. Said, did this woman try to bring a criminal case against Williamson? I can't answer that. I don't know. I only know what I read. Only know what I read. The arena is not a dump. That's not true. It's not a dump. I mean, Arco Arena was a dump, right? Let's just call it the way it is. The arena in Oklahoma City was definitely nicer than Arco Arena, but we're talking about the atmosphere. We're not talking about the structure of the arena or the bathrooms or the concession stands. We're talking about the atmosphere. I do think it's similar. I do think it's similar. Hey, don't forget, folks, plumbing needs and repairs, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. They're available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. You got the number and the website. Also, newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Keep the questions coming along. I love my Giants and 49ers, but the city has turned into blank. That's true. It's awful. And again, you're going to have the Super Bowl there in February. And again, I understand it's more in San Jose, but the city of San Francisco is going to be the focal point for the NFL. Good luck. Good luck. I know you love the F1 show on Netflix. Curious, did Gary Gerald ever try to get you into auto racing at all back in the day? No, but I used to watch the Indy 500 every year religiously, even before I met Gary. And I always watched it until they had their split. And then I kind of lost interest. And I didn't watch many other races. But no, he didn't. He wouldn't do that. Grant, I live in San Francisco. It's not that bad. Mayor Lurie is improving it. Grant, you should run for mayor of Sacramento. I wouldn't run for mayor of anything. And I disagree with you. I don't live there. You do, but I beg to differ with you. And I hope that I'm wrong and you're right, but I'm sorry. I'd be very alarmed having an event as big as the Super Bowl, unless they're going to do what they did when the president of China came in for a week and clean it up, which just shows you they could do it if they wanted to. But yeah, San Francisco right now would be probably the last place in the country, or one of the last places that I would want to visit. And I used to love San Francisco. I used to go there on a regular basis. And to me, it was one of the real jewels of anywhere in the world. You can't say that anymore. So, Grant, usually the NFL gives a team who builds a new stadium a Super Bowl. So does that mean Buffalo will host the Super Bowl? Only if it's a dome, not if it's any way or shape outdoors. The NFL would not do that. I know they did it for the Giants at MetLife, but there's a big difference between, New York City, the metropolitan area, and Buffalo, New York. So, and here's the other deal. Buffalo couldn't host the Super Bowl based on my knowledge of the city. I don't think it's big enough. I don't think they have enough quality hotels and things of that nature. I wouldn't say never, because you could use Toronto as your base and you could go that way. That would be, I think, how you would be able to do it. But I mean, you got to remember, they had the Super Bowl in Detroit at the Silverdome. So it's not like the NFL won't go to cold weather cities. They will. Minnesota. I mean, we can go on and on. Buffalo, I don't know. That's a good question. And I know the Bill Stadium is no dome. That's what I'm saying. If it's a dome, you got a chance. No dome, no chance. Thank you very much. Greetings from Modesto, Grant. You're the best announcer the Kings have ever had. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Who do I think of all NBA teams really have a chance the next few years that will be able to go toe-to-toe with OKC? I think maybe San Antonio with the right moves. What do you think? These things change, Chris, and they change rapidly. And right now on paper, it looks like that the Oklahoma City Thunder are set up for a dynasty. But if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were to have a very serious injury, and I hope that doesn't happen, that would change things. You never know who's the next real big star that's going to evolve in the NBA. Could it be San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama, who's an unbelievably special talent? Yes, it could be. I guess that's the fun of watching, right? I mean, the Warriors just kind of burst onto the scene. I don't want to say overnight, but it was a fairly quick ascent to the top. And then they had their dynasty. And we weren't thinking that was going to be the case when they drafted Steph Curry. Nobody go, oh boy, the Warriors just drafted Steph Curry. They're going to turn into a dynasty, and drafting Klay Thompson. And we can go on and on. So you never know. You never know. It's a good question, though, because right now, I think Oklahoma City is head and shoulders above anybody else in the West. And they are so good, and they're set up with so many draft picks coming up in the first round, too. And they have a lot of assets. Boy, oh boy. Hey, Sunrise Landing, don't forget about the spring sale going on now. You can take advantage of some fabulous, fabulous deals. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out everything that they have to offer. And they're beautiful models with no Mellorews, no homeowners, right across the street from the Calusa Golf and Country Club. This Blazona development project waiting for you to explore. Go to CalusaSunrise.com and check out everything at CalusaSunrise.com with great access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. That's Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Good to have you here to wrap up the week and my last show of May. Man. You know, the Giants are having a good year. Everyone's loved my San Francisco Giants. I think they've been one of the real surprise teams. I didn't think they would play to the level that they have played. I got to give them a lot of credit. You know, they're a fun team to watch if you like watching baseball. I have such a difficult time watching baseball. But I got to give the Giants a lot of credit. You know, 32-25. They've hit a little bit of a rough patch, but they're 2.5 back. But it's been an exciting year if you're a Giants fan. Yanks up 5-2. That's a big game going on. A's lost again in Toronto, 11-7. And speaking about the Giants, they're in Miami, and they blanked the Marlins by the score of 2-0. Grant, I used to work for HBO. You should check out The White Lotus Season 3. It takes place in Thailand. I will. Pretty awesome. All over Thailand or one specific area? I will. I'll check it out. I'd love that. Good stuff. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. I think right now you have to understand that the NBA finals don't begin until Thursday. And I think the league has to be concerned if, and I don't believe the game's going to be fixed in any way, shape, or form tomorrow. But, you know, I think Indiana and Oklahoma City will be a very low-rated finals. You know, the Western Conference finals, the numbers have been very, very low compared to the Eastern Conference TV ratings. So we'll see. I went to the Super Bowl experience in San Francisco when the Super Bowl came to the Bay Area 10 years ago. Didn't enjoy it. It's just too much other stuff going around the city. Not good stuff either. Yeah, I didn't. It was kind of blasé. And, you know, they had the national championship game of football there, and that was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Ed, how are you, buddy, from Chile? You joining me late again, buddy? 25 minutes late, Ed? It's okay. Better late than never, my friend. Better late than never. Better late than never. It's been kind of an interesting week because, like, every night there's something going on, you know, with the NBA and the NHL. And then you get to the end of the week and you're like, wow, there's no games, right? Turn on the TV, there's no basketball. There's no hockey. Yeah, you got golf going on, but you've got baseball. But, you know, it's just like we've been going full steam ahead every single night with multiple games. And then you get to a night and you're like, whoa, what happened? Where are the games? Where are the games? It's okay. It's okay. That's okay, Ed. I forgive you, my man. It's all right. Better late than never, buddy. Better late than never. It's okay. It's all right. Ed says, I spent a lot of time today talking with my brother-in-law about Thailand. He's actually thinking to take my sis and my nephew and move there. Highly recommended. I have a lot of friends that live in Thailand, and they love it from all walks of life. They love it. And every single one of them that I've talked to said they are never moving back to their respective country. Most of them are American, but some are from Australia and some are from different countries in Europe. Not one said, yeah, I'm going to leave here in a month or 6 months. And I actually have a buddy who his run at the embassy is up in September, and he actually is retiring. And he and his wife and daughters are moving back to America, and he told me he's dreading it. He doesn't want to move. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. And then I had some other friends that worked at the embassy, and when I think it was a 4-year stint, they're literally crying leaving Thailand. I'm not exaggerating. They're like depressed. One guy got transferred to DC. He's like, man, I got to go from Thailand to Washington, DC, which is, nothing, not chopped liver. He's like, man, he was depressed, freaking depressed. I have not been to an A's game in Sacramento. I don't live in Sacramento, so unless I'm in Sacramento, would have I gone to the city Yankees? Yeah, I would have gone. Chris says, my buddy from Sacramento sold his house and moved to Thailand, bought a bar, and lives like a king there. Yeah. Yep. I met a guy down in Pattaya. It's called Danny's Sports Bar. Danny used to be a baseball writer, Major League Baseball, covering the Tigers and the Mariners. And when I was in Thailand, I dropped by to see him, to meet him. And it's pretty amazing. We had a great time hanging out. And Steve Trout was there, former pitcher. And we just sat there and talked all kinds of baseball stories and sports stories for a couple of hours. But Danny moved there, did the same thing. He packed up and goes, I'm out of here. And he's doing very well in Pattaya, which is a really crazy city in Thailand. Pitch clock is my favorite new rule. Love it. The game is more enjoyable, faster, less boring. Love it. I agree with you. No doubt the Giants will make the playoffs. How can you say that in May, that there's no doubt, Alex, that they're going to make the playoffs? How could you say that? You can't say that in May. I mean, it's way too early for that. Yeah, and I agree. I don't like the shifts in baseball that they took out of the game last year, which I think was a very good move. That was a very good move. Very good move. Tell you what else is a good move. Getting in touch with Connor at Element Mortgage when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home. He's great at what he does. He himself has closed over hundreds of loans, and the team behind him with over 100 years of experience. The QR code will get all the information you need, or you can give him a call at 916-505-1006. That's 916-505-1006. Give Connor a call at Element Mortgage. So we're wrapping up the week. I'm not going to go long here because I just want to get on to thank everyone, talk about a couple of things, and just kind of reminisce about May, moving into June, talk about some of the things I look forward to in June. And I didn't read your post. Sorry, I can't read every message, Alex. I appreciate you, but I can't read every single message that comes on the screen. The Dodgers, if they don't win the division, there should be an investigation. All right? There should be an investigation because clearly they are stacked in every way, shape, or form. So if that happens, then you become a wild card team. And when I look at everything in the National League right now, it's just way too early to forecast. Way too early to forecast the wild card race. It just is. It just is. And I know if you go to the standings, you can click on wild card and you can see it. But way early. I mean, without even talking about it, the loser of the NL East is going to be there. The Padres look good. The Cardinals look very good, right? I mean, there's a lot of it's very difficult to look at this at the end of May and try to figure this out. Do I think baseball is still in trouble? It feels like it's dying faster than any sport. I do think it's in trouble, yes. Not to a point where it's going to disappear and be extinct. But yeah, I do. Hey, Ed says, if you want to sell your house and move to Thailand, give Connor a call. Yeah, I don't know if Connor's licensed to do business over in Thailand. That's funny. Oh my gosh. That's fabulous. Yeah, I think if you called Connor and said, "Hey, I was watching Grant's show and they were talking about moving to Thailand and and Ed in Chile said he should call you," that would be good. I'd like to see that. That would be funny. I'd like to see Connor's reaction on that phone call. I really would. We get all kinds of questions here on if you don't like that. Am I ready for the Spain Grand Prix? Yes, I am. From beautiful Barcelona. In beautiful Barcelona. How do I watch live sports in Thailand? Do all the streaming packages work in Thailand? Most of the sports are right on your TV. True Sports, if you get the package, you get all the NFL national games. You get the NBA national games. You get all of the auto racing. You get all of the golf. Every single golf tournament in America, both the Champions Tour and the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour are on. There's like 2 or 3 different golf channels. And so watching golf is very easy. The thing that's a little bit difficult is hockey. If I watch hockey, I stream it. But yeah, everything else is on TV. And the other thing is, there are various sports bars where all the games are on. You know, sometimes it's at odd times, like the NFL over in Thailand starts at either 12 or 1, depending on whether the clocks have turned back or not, in the morning. You know, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, it comes on at, 7:15 in the morning. So you get up and you watch Monday Night Football if you're in Thailand, Thursday Night Football, but yeah, everything's on. That's what I mean. The world is so small now. We're all connected. And if you don't have something where you're at, chances are you can stream it pretty easily. Pretty easily. All right. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll be back Monday. Don't forget about Rhino, the King's Court, and of course, Jerry Reynolds on Tuesdays. It's always fun when Jerry joins Rhino. That's on Tuesdays. Again, stay safe. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you in June. How about that? I'll talk to you in June right here on If You Don't Like That. Bye-bye, everybody.